Hey Wyatt, it's your dad coming from September 26th, 2017. You are due to be born in about a month, a little less than a month. I've been thinking about what I wanna say, and it's odd because we haven't met yet. So I'm talking to you. So maybe you'll see this video. I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be the year 2035 or something, maybe by the time I show this to you. But so I've kind of been giving a lot of thought about what kind of dad do I want to be. What were the things I think that my mom and dad did well, your grandparents. And I think that what I find I struggle with is finding a balance between having really high expectations for you, wanting to make sure that I do everything I can, that you should see all the shit I make your mom eat right now, all the supplements, all the research I've done on everything we can possibly do so that you're as smart as possible. And maybe that is creating a lot of pressure that for you to be this perfect kid. But then on the other side, I think back to some of the old George Carlin, and I'm sure I'll probably make you watch these over the year when you get old enough, which is leave your fucking kids alone. Let them play. He had he said in one of his specials, I always thought was funny, is kids should have at least 2 hours every day to just daydream, and hated the idea of play dates and structured, overbearing parents that have every minute of your kid's life scheduled, and you got to go to this practice and then you got to go do this, and so these are the things I think about, is how do we balance, and I hope I did it right. And maybe I should have started this whole video with, hey Wyatt, I'm sorry. Sorry for the last 20 years of mistakes that I've inevitably made. But I kind of wanted to see kind of how it started and how we want to try to give you every possible advantage. And you're white, so that's already a pretty big advantage, and I hope you can appreciate how good white people have it. And maybe they won't in 20 years, and if they don't in 20 years, then we probably had it coming. But because I don't know what kind of dad I'm going to be yet. But one side of me wants, and there's probably going to be times where I probably tormented the shit out of you or made things really hard. And I probably will at times make things tough. And if I do, it is to prepare you, because what you don't want a kid who lived in a bubble, who didn't know what the real world was like, didn't know what it was like out there, and he gets a trophy for coming in 4th place. And what that does is when you do that to somebody, I think you make them weak. And I think once they get out in the real world, they realize you don't get a trophy for 4th place. You don't get a trophy for 2nd place unless it's the Olympics. But you don't. Nobody rewards that. So I hope I don't. But maybe there's going to be a point at which you bring home a 4th place trophy and I throw it out. And if I do, it's probably kind of a jerk thing that I did it. But that was to prepare you, because my job is not to raise a little boy, it's to raise a man. One that leaves the world a better place than it was if he hadn't have been here. I want you to be better than me in every way. And it's funny, I was talking to Mom, your grandma, and I told her all the supplements and all this stuff I'm trying to do to make you smart right now that your mom's taking. And she's like, well, you don't want a kid that outsmarts you. And I was like, I absolutely do. That's exactly what I want. I want you to be better than me in every measurable way. Taller, hopefully. Smarter. Nicer to people. More patient. I'm not patient. You probably figured that out by now. I yell and throw things around. I don't want you to be like that. I want you to be smarter than me. I want to have a conversation where you're like, Dad, you're why aren't you understanding this? This is easy. So I hope that you, and that means I did a good job. If you're better than me in every way, that means I did a good job as a dad. So I don't. Maybe there'll be more of these videos to come. But just know that you were an accident, by the way. I want you to know that we were going to wait like an extra month or so before we tried. But just know that we really we very much want to meet you. We're super stoked. And I just find myself endlessly curious with finding out who you will become. Who are you going to be? And I have these expectations, and it's unfair because you will be your own person. And the other thing that I really hope that I've prepared you for, and if I haven't, you hopefully will run, is that you're adaptable. It's 2017, and the amount that's changed. So I'm 39 as of 2 days ago, and the amount that's changed since I was a kid is tremendous. There was no internet. You've probably heard all these stories, but you can hear it kind of now. There was no internet when I was growing up until I was in high school, and even then, it was not what you would recognize as the internet, right? The amount of change that's happened in society and since I was a kid is profound, and the amount it's going to the amount it changed in 30 years for me, you're going to see that amount of change. We're going to see that from now till you're 15, and then from when you're 15 to when you're 30, it's going to probably be even more change. You're going to see the amount things will change from you're 15 to when you're 30 is probably the amount of change that we saw in 5 years. You'll probably we would see in 20 years. You'll probably see in 5 years, both technologically, both society, everything else. So that means is that adapt or die. So if I can if I really want to leave you with one thing, it's adapt or die. Adapt or be left behind. The world will continue to change radically in faster and faster pace. And if you don't know how to adapt and learn, and this doesn't mean just the ability to learn a new programming language or learn new technology. This is how, when society changes, when government changes, when disaster happens, are you able to adapt to that? Again, it's 2017, and we haven't had the big one, the big earthquake. They tell us it's going to happen. Maybe it happens in time I'm done with this video. Maybe it doesn't happen again for 50 years. But are you able to handle that type of radical change? Your whole life changes. You move to a new city. Someone you love next to you dies, and all of a sudden your whole life changes. You switch schools. You find out that you thought you were straight and you're gay. Maybe you are. I don't know. But big changes happen, and are you able to adapt to it? So I hope I've begun to prepare you to be able to be adaptable. But this is something that I think that I hope you run with. I hope you don't view school, and I don't know how long this day. I'm just gonna keep ranting, I guess, for a while. So when I was in school, I remember I said to my grandpa, and I wish you could have met my grandpa, Grandpa Bill Jones. And I remember I said to Grandpa, my education was always so important, and I used to always say to Grandpa, but he always talked about how important it was that I go to college and get educated. And he goes, I go, Grandpa, where'd you go to college? I figured he had to have gone to school because he made such a big point of it. So I said, Grandpa, where'd you go to school? And he goes, I went to the School of Hard Knocks. I'm like, where's that? That was what I said. Where's the School of Hard Knocks? Did you get a degree from there? I didn't get it, and I didn't get it for a long time. What he meant by that, and he had a 4th or 8th grade education, I think, is what he ended up having. But the point was is that I remember asking that, but I said to Grandpa, I go, I said, I'll tell you why I try to work hard in school, is I go, because I'm there anyways. You're there. You're going to be there you're there for 6 hours, let's say, or 8 hours, or you go to your job one day and you're there for 8 hours. You're already there. Why not kill it? Why not be awesome at it? I mean, you're already there. You've already done the hard part. You got it. You put your backpack on. You put on a suit. You brush your teeth. You drove in traffic. You're there. Why not kill it? It was just automatic to me that made sense. That you would want to be good at it if that's it. If you're already there. So I hope you take that sort of approach to school. And the other thing I remember, after I finished school, you probably heard a lot of this, but I went to grad school. I graduated. I was 27 or 28, something like that. 28 maybe. It was when I was in Atlanta before I moved out to California, and I remember thinking, I was like, I'm done with school. I've got 2 degrees. I don't need to learn anymore. I got a master's, and I've already learned all. I've learned it all now. And what I was just telling your mom, I think last night, she came home, and I'm studying electrical engineering. I'm trying to get this robot finished, and I told her, I said, I'm overwhelmed by I need to fix this camera here. Okay. So I told her, I'm overwhelmed by what I don't know. So think about this. I'm 39, and I have, how much more experience do I have than when I was 27? 12 years, but I've done a lot of things in 12 years. I've studied and learned a lot of things, and I've been just frantically studying and learning everything I can, again, to adapt, to be able to build new things, to be able to do the things I want. And I find I can't do everything I want. I can't build everything I want. I can't make this robot do everything I want. I can't do all the things I want to do. And I find it overwhelming how much I don't know. Which is odd, because this is the most I've ever known in my life. And yet, what happens is, the more you learn, the bigger the world gets. They say the world gets smaller. The world doesn't get smaller, it gets bigger, because you realize how much there is to know and how big and how much there is out there. And the reason it's important to study all of these different things, I think that the reason to study these different disciplines and to just feverishly learn until you die, constantly reinvent yourself and constantly learn, is because you see new connections between things that maybe other people can't see. You see how this thing over here and this thing over here that don't seem connected, maybe they should be connected. Maybe they are connected and people don't see it. To see the patterns where other people don't see it. And I don't think you can see what other people are missing, or to see what the really smart people are seeing, if you don't have a pretty broad education and you don't constantly, frantically learn everything you can. So if over the last 20 years or whatever, I've just been, if at times it seemed overbearing that I pushed a lot on school, this is why I want greatness for you. But greatness to be defined by you, but not what I think is great. I want you to define what greatness is, and then I want you to get it. So whatever it is that you want. And part of, I think, a man's purpose, it's a big driver. If you ask, I think if you look at, and I say man, masculine, somebody who identifies with their masculinity, so we'll just keep it easy to say men and women. If you have a guy and his life is his wife, he's got an amazing wife like I do, and he has a happy life, and his kids are perfect, lives in a great house, everything looks good. He's not necessarily fulfilled if he doesn't fulfill his purpose. There's a reason why we're here. And I don't mean that like from God, like God has ordained the reason why I'm here. I don't mean religious overtone with this in terms of purpose why we're here. Your purpose is to find your purpose is why you're here. But if you're not doing the thing that you feel like you were put here to do, why are you here? Why are you here? Why will it matter when you're gone, if you were here? And it doesn't matter what that purpose is, but you have to follow it. And I think as a man, if you're not following your purpose as you define it for you right now, you're not going to feel fulfilled. Even if everything else is great. My wife is amazing, and I got great kids, and my health is good. Everything else is great, and I'm not fulfilling my purpose. I'm gonna feel like there's something missing. I'm not really. I think women are a little different. Not all women, not all men, but I think that we'll say that the feminine spirit is more fulfilled when there's love. The woman's career isn't going great, but she has love in her life and a great family and a great husband and feels supported, then she can feel fulfilled. She can feel like there's not something missing. The masculine energy is like, I see a mountain over there, and I'm gonna fucking climb that mountain. I'm going to climb it. That's what I'm going to do. That's why I'm here. I hope this is making. I hope this at some point in your life resonates. But the kind of the point of this whole video is that know that the reason, barring the inevitable pile of permanent things and permanent mistakes I've made over the years, that this is what drove me to do the things I did as a dad. That underlying that this is where I'm coming from, is wanting you to be great, as defined by you, wanting you to have the tools to where when you see that thing that's your purpose, you see there's this thing that you know you should do, that you have the tools to do it. When you have an idea for something, you see that something is broken in the world, you see there's an injustice, you see there's you see that. So tell you, why did I have you study martial arts over the years? So that you have the tool. So if your purpose in any given moment, your purpose in a given moment is, I see somebody at school and they were getting bullied and they couldn't protect themselves, they couldn't do something that they wanted to be able to do, that you will have the tool to be able to help them. You will have the tool to be able to defend yourself. Maybe you have the tool to be able to defend me or your mom or the dog or whoever else, but that you will be able to do the things you want. If you look at people in unfortunate situations. Look at a kid born in rural Africa. He doesn't have the tools to be able to do everything that maybe he wants to do. And maybe he doesn't even know what he wants to do because the world is still kind of small. He hasn't been given the opportunity to see everything. So you have, the thing too is that kind of don't have an excuse for not being great, because again, look at the leg up you have. Look at how your life started. Your life started with us obsessing over your health from before day one. You're starting off life healthy. You're starting off life with parents who are attentive and will try to do a good job. You're starting off life white. You're starting off with all of these things. You will get a good education. You will have all of these advantages. You do not have an excuse for not fulfilling your purpose. I don't care what it is. If your heart is set on being a ballerina, and that is what your purpose is in that moment, do that. Do that. And something else. I don't want you to do what. I want you to ask yourself. I don't know, how old are you? You're 18, you're 21, or something like that. Maybe you're 16, I don't know. I'm not going to probably show this to you before you're 16. But, is your path because that's what you think I want? Think about it. This is a serious question. Are you going to the school that you're going to, maybe I give this to you right when you graduate high school. Maybe you got into a college and you're going off to college. Why are you going to that college? Is it because you think that's what I wanted? Or do you think it's because of what your mom wanted? Is that because you think that's what your friends want? Maybe your girlfriend's going to that school and that's why you're going there. These are horrible fucking reasons to go. These are not reasons to. Why do you like the things you like? Because I like them? Because you think it makes me happy? This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I want at this point. You're an adult now. None of this matters. What you have to live your life. I read in a book once. This feels strange to say. I'm talking about myself, but you have to live your life as if your dad was dead. You have to live your life like I was dead. And what that means is you have to shed yourself of expectations of what I would want you to do. And you need to do what you have to, again, live your life as if I were dead. And that you come to me for help. I will slay any dragon to help you. And you will always be able to ask for help from me. But your motivation needs to be you and your life. And that's how I will be a successful father. So part of me is disappointed that you don't like things that I like. That is, who gives a shit? That is not important. And maybe you sense it a little bit. Maybe you sense that we're different and it disappoints me a little. I throw that out. That's me and my mistake, and that's my fault. If you sense that, I will measure my success as a father by how well you are your own person. And I will also judge me as a father by how you treat other people, how you act when no one is looking. That's how I will know if this grand experiment called Wyatt is a success. If you think for yourself, question authority, to steal a quote I heard. So 27 minutes. If you're like your mom, you've probably already fallen asleep at this point. I'll end here. I love you, even though we haven't met. I still do. And I think that's it.